It's going back is worse.
Plus, I have to meet some people today.
It's
so
okay
they
till you
sure
drive
about
the
they're
game.
gonna text
They keep fixing the guardrail too. It's like, forget the guardrail, fix the pavement. Maybe if you
Whatever was in the truck was all stacked. Guys out there picking through.
Call this meeting to order. It is the Mohave County Housing Authority Board of Directors meeting. It's April 1st at 8:30 a.m. Do we need a roll call?
Supervisor Lingenfelter? Supervisor Angus?
Here.
Supervisor Johnson?
Here.
Supervisor Bishop?
Here.
Supervisor Gold?
here.
County Authority member Linda Sadler? And Housing Authority member Sally Deal?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Very good, thank you. Discussion and possible action, approval of the April 3rd, 2023 meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Report from the director.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Angus, Board of Directors. My pleasure to be here today to give you the report for 2023. We'll start off with our housing program updates. Currently, we have 592 total vouchers. That would be for our housing choice vouchers, there's 247. For our VASH, there's 200. For mainstream, there's 115. For the EHV, there's 26, and for FYI, there are 4. The Kingman Veteran Villas, we have 48 vouchers there as well. Going to supportive housing, our Fresh Start program, we have 24 vouchers. Samaritan, we have 18. The Bridge Subsidy program, we have 4. The HOPWA, we have 23 for a total of 65. The emergency housing vouchers, there's 20 active vouchers at this time. CDBG home programs, we have 3 active rehab programs contracts, 3 pending grant contracts, 1 OHR contract, and 2 community projects as well. So when you look at all of this in general, not a lot has changed since our last visit a year ago in regards to the different vouchers and the things that the county has, so forth. A lot of things that you're going to see that come through today, and I'll talk about it later in the agenda, will be the HOPMA, and that's just the different changes through HUD. We've gone through those. We've updated that. We've updated our admin plan as well, which we'll go over briefly and just give you a high-level synopsis there, unless there's certain questions that you'd like us to touch on. Are there any questions?
Questions?
No.
Okay, continue.
That concludes my report for my director report.
So what are we A or B?
4, number 4, the 4th item. Financial report.
2024.
So what I'll do here is I'll just pull this up just so that you can see it. We can look through it a little more. This will just give you kind of a synopsis of where the needs are and where we're currently serving. So there's 99 families in Havasu. There's 313 in Kingman. Bullhead City, there's 223. And currently in Colorado City, there are 6 that we're currently providing services. And the dollar amounts associated with those families are listed there as well if you'd like to review that or have any questions.
Okay, any questions? Hearing none, we'll move on. Housing needs assessment.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I put this on here just as it was a high-level thing that we did last year, and I just wanted to bring it back to the board and say that I have had several developers reach out to me and have used the tool, and that has been successful, and there has been much movement in regards to the LIHTC projects within Mohave County. And so that is a positive thing in regards to building affordable housing, as well as other affordable housing that's been coming through the county as well.
Okay. Any comments or questions, Supervisor Bishop?
Madam Chair, Director Smith, can you go into our housing needs in Mohave County, specifically District 4?
Madam Chair, Supervisor Bishop. So when you look at right now, currently facing the county as well as the nation, affordability has really changed dramatically. I mean, even if I think back from when I first started almost three and a half years ago, the affordability. So affordability-wise, everything has changed throughout the county. What I mean by that is when the interest rates have doubled, obviously not quite that, but the payments go up substantially, almost double. So when you look at that, that's a burden for people that are facing that. With that being said, the amount of homes that we're seeing that are coming on the market or off the market, they're increasing, but it's only started as of late. So like the last 6 months, it's really started to increase. More homes have been coming on the market as opposed to not. But I think when you go back to the building part, since 2008, and it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed in Mohave County. It's not changed in District 4 or anywhere else in the country. It's that we have not kept up with building affordable homes or homes that people can live in and have that option. I will say that there are many developers that have come to the county that are trying to do good work within the county to provide those options. I'm not going to name any particular developers or organizations, but there are people that are actively working within the county, and I would applaud them for their opportunity, looking at size of homes as well as price income as well. So, Supervisor, I know that was long-winded, and I hope I didn't give you maybe the needed specifics that you were looking for. I hope that kind of addressed overall the county and even in your district particular, but the major point right now is most people that have locked in at a 3.5 or 4% interest, they're not going to sell their home and move on. And if people aren't selling homes and there aren't opportunities for people to buy homes, it makes it very difficult. And then with the developers coming in, inflation, we all know inflation. I'm not going to hammer that any farther. The cost to build the homes are harder. And if you don't have more homes, it's supply and demand. So if we're not building more homes, costs are going to still remain high, and they have. When you look at some of the homes, the average amount of home time on the market, it's not bad, but it's longer than what it used to be. Right? It used to be you put your home on the market 30 days, you're having an offer, people are calling. Now it's tending to stretch, somewhere between 3 to 4 or 5 months. But the homes are still selling. It's just a matter of timing.
Okay, so I guess you're saying, what I'm understanding anyway, is that you build more homes and that availability then would bring the prices down and make homes more affordable to more people?
Madam Chair, Supervisor Bishop, that is correct. The more supply and demand that you have, the economics of it, the more opportunity people have, the more the price will go down or remain the same at the very least. How much it'll go down, that's a good question. I haven't really got into that too much, but prices came down a little bit, but then they've kind of leveled off, and they really haven't. We haven't seen a huge drop in home affordability, and even the marginal amount that we might have seen with the interest rates going up, it's not changed the affordability factor.
And affordability that differs for different people. So what might be affordable for one family would be out of reach for another. I certainly understand that. The success that we've had with the veterans villas, that's affordability in a lot of people's minds. Can you go into that a little bit about the success of that and whether or not we'll see more of those type developments?
Sure, Madam Chair, Supervisor Bishop. In regards to the Kingman Veteran Villas, that has been successful. And those are voucher-based, meaning that, like we had spoken before, it's one of our supportive systems. So what happens is the veteran comes in, they qualify through the VA. The VA then approaches the Mohave County Housing Authority. And then we go ahead and vet that veteran to make sure that they meet all the requirements for the program. And then after that, they're actually then provided an opportunity in the home. But the veteran villas go even a step farther. And when you think of that outlook and the help of the veterans there, is that they receive counseling and support. They also have peer support there that can help them through as well through the VA and different options there. So when you're looking at that particular community, what we're doing there, they have they have resources and help that you might not have in other areas or within other housing programs within the county.
Could we, Madam Chair, could we possibly put together something similar to that under Section 8 for people who are not veterans and are not able to afford a home? Is that something that we can be looking at down the line, and how would that how could this board help that happen?
Madam Chair, Supervisor Bishop. So with that being said, that those projects do exist, and they are here in the county as well. When you think of those, and Supervisor, there are things that the local authorities do have the ability to help with as well. But when you look at it, so I'll give you an example, 2 examples of things that could be done within the county as well. So when you look at the LIHTC program that you asked, the LIHTC program is the same thing as what you would get with community veteran villas. It's a little different because of the funding and the way they're structured, but very much similar in regards to the outcomes. So the LIHTC programs, they do on site normally have a resource room, or they do have a manager that manages and helps with the development within that area or for the needs that people are seeing, as well as if there's any resources that they need within that local community, that manager then makes sure that they're connected with that information as well. When we go down into the LIHTC, you asked, Supervisor, how could the local authorities help with that or help with any of the things to move the dial? There are some things where, depending upon the LIHTC program, and we just had some very high levels with one of the cities, where the cities can do things as such, so they might waive fees for a developer in regards to certain things that they're doing. They could look at giving them a loan as well. So if what happens is with the LIHTC, it's the qualified allocation plan. The qualified allocation plan is how you score to be able to get a LIHTC project. Mohave County has done extremely well over the past 4 or 5 years in regards to our scoring and making that happen. But one of the things that really could drive things or make things more effective for the developer. Now, when you think of LIHTC, everybody always thinks it's a government program, right? And truly, it starts off as a government program, but it's truly not a government program. And what I mean by that is that the government provides dollars, and they say if you take these dollars, you can apply for the tax dollars, right? Most developers come in and they take those dollars, and then they turn around and sell them to a syndicate, a banker, and that banker then takes those, and then they take that, and that's their initial investment to get the project started. And then that remains with that developer and that project. So when you're looking at it in regards to private government, it gets a little tricky. But I want to kind of just go back to what I was saying. So there's different things within the qualified allocation plan that this board, the Mohave County Board of Supervisors, would have the ability, if they chose to, in regards to different things that they could allocate in regards to the plan. And the only difference is it gives the developer more points, right? Because at the end of the day, it's that qualified allocation plan. They take the plans, they take everybody who submitted it, and whoever has the highest number wins. Recently in Bullhead, there was 2 applicants just this past year, and they actually went to tiebreakers because it was that competitive for the qualified allocation plan and the scoring with those 2 developments that took place in Bullhead.
Okay. The Katherine Heights townhomes down in District 2, similar to the Veterans Villas. How did that come about?
Supervisor Angus, I'm sorry, Madam Chair Angus, Supervisor Bishop. So Katherine Heights is actually a LIHTC project. Most people aren't aware of that. That was actually built by Adams Construction, who also built Kingman Veteran Villas. That is a LIHTC project. And if you go through there, I mean, I've had the opportunity to visit and see that facility, and I would say, I wouldn't say facility. Let me step back. I've had an opportunity to visit that community. That community is well kept. You would not know if you drove through there and then you drove somewhere else. I'll raise my hand right now and say I live in Katherine Heights.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Any day of the week, it's a beautiful facility. They maintain it well. Part of that is when you're looking at the LIHTC and the different things, it's who are the developers and what are their goals or what are their end results. The Adams group just does an extremely a great job. They're a great community partner. Anytime that we've had some small, I say small because they're small issues with the Kingman Veteran Villas. They've been resolved. They've been open communication and they've been direct communication. And I think those are the things that you need when you're doing developments and building, is making sure that the developer is really in it for the long haul. And with that particular company, they've established themselves here in Mohave County quite some time ago.
Okay, that's all the questions I have. People are moving here. We're rapidly increasing in population, and I think programs like this need to be encouraged if Mohave County can do that in any way.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any comments? Sally, got anything? Okay, thank you. Now we're going to open the public hearing, requesting comments from the public pertaining to the Mohave County Housing Authority. Anyone like to speak to it? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. What? Okay. Number 7, discussion and possible action, approval of the Mohave County Housing Authority revisions to the following sections of MCHA's administrative plan.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Angus, Board of Supervisors. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of run through this and give you an overview of the synopsis of what the HOTMA is. These are changes that have been coming through, that have been voted upon, that will be going into effect in the very near future. Shortly after, obviously, they're approved here, but they go into effect January 1st, 2025. I'll touch on that just briefly and show you there's quite a bit of it here. These were the changes. So you can see them. So these were all the changes that we're going to have to our admin plan. I'm not going to go through each one of these unless there's a question on a particular one. But we also did this at our board of directors meeting as well, and went through these with them, as well as gave the public an opportunity. And now I'm just going to go through briefly the key components of what we had here. So one of the first key ones for the Mohave County Housing Authority was the re-exams. When you look at re-exams, anytime they're interims or re-exams, when you look at that, basically if somebody has a change in their lifestyle or within their life, that could be income, that could be disability, so forth or so on. Right now, we would have to bring that person in and we'd have to go through a re-entry exam, an interim. Now, with this program, what they've done is they've given up to 10%, right? So if it's not over 10%, you can then if it's under 10%, you can do it yearly. So it really it really helps the staff in regards to the amount of time that's there. They did deduct, and I think this is another one that we're seeing a lot more here in Mohave County, across the board. But this would be elderly and disabled households, right? So they've changed they've raised it from $400 to $525 for an adjustment for standard deductions for elderly. They expanded allowance for Medicaid and disability expenses from 3% annual income to 10%. Higher asset thresholds. This one they moved substantially, and for several reasons you could see why, but it raised from $5,000 to $50,000. Hardship relief. So here another one. The HOTMA permits PHAs to provide hardship relief for families facing unexpected medical disability expenses, as well as those no longer eligible for child care expense deductions. Asset limitations. Asset limitations is $100,000 for families for real property. So if you own any real property under $100,000, you can still qualify for the program. So if you had a home or there were some other things, then you would still be able to qualify for. Inflation adjustments, deductions, and assets and limitations will be annually adjusted for inflation, ensuring that the families are able to build more wealth without losing program assistance. So some of our programs here as well. So a program that I didn't touch on, but would like to spend just a moment on, is that our FSS program within the county. Through that program, we're able to assist up to 50 individuals, and it talks about home ownership. So if they follow through on their plan, a portion of the money of their rents each month goes into a fund, and then at the end, when they graduate or they get to that point, they can then take those funds and buy a home. And I think, and I don't want to, I forget the number of amount of people that have gone through that program, but I know we've had some recent participants that have gone through it and been successful. We've also just really, in regards to our plan, gone through and really updated formatting and page changes. We're trying to get that down substantially, so when people are reviewing that, it'll make it easier for everybody in the future. So those are just some highlights, Madam Chair and Board of Supervisors, that I would share.
Okay, any questions about that? Seeing none, we're off to number 8, discussion and possible action, adoption of resolution 2024-077, authorizing submission of MCHA's civil rights certification.
Madam Chair, motion to approve.
I have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we're on the call to public. Anyone from the public wishing to speak?
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, the one we just approved is number 7 or number 9?
Number 8.
Do
We just did.
Do we need to make any motion for the?
All right, so 1 second. So number 7, we needed to do an approval. Did we do that?
Yes.
Okay. Number 8, we adopted the resolution.
Yes.
We just did. Didn't we?
Yeah, we did a number 8. Do we need to make any motion for number 7?
I thought we did. Did we do a motion for number 7?
No.
Okay. So how do I go back? I just go, we're going to,
Yes, that's fine. Go
let's
ahead.
go back to number 7. So I need a motion to approve the Mohave County Housing Authority revision.
So moved.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Well, we're in the middle of the call to public. I still see much public there, so we're going to close the call to public. Are there any announcements? Anything? Okay. We're adjourned. Thank you very much.